Hey, it's Dusty Thunder with another Reddit story for you. This one is titled, Am I the Astronaut for Making My Wife Pay Half of Everything? I, 39 male, recently got a raise at work. I'm now making well over double what my wife, 37 female, makes at her job. I've always made about double. We live pretty comfortably, rent but have 2 cars, and can buy whatever we need, including luxury items like gaming consoles, TVs, etc. Unlike the we can buy gaming consoles. I don't know how she feels about that. It feels like that line's a bit slanted. We don't go on vacations or spend foolishly. We split everything 50-50 and have our own bank accounts. She gives me her share of the rent every month and I pay. If I pay for something like a hotel, she gives me money for her half. Recently, the subject of her paying less came up. She suggested that we each pay an equal percentage of our earnings towards rent and household utilities. Ergo, we pay 30% of our salary towards rent and utilities. She says she's been using her credit cards to pay for things since she can't afford rent plus utilities and groceries on her salary, and they are close to maxed. She's never mentioned this, and I don't think I should be held responsible for her inability to manage money. We chose our place together, and she should have picked something she could afford better, not make me pay more in the future because she is now struggling, as she puts it. I work hard for my money, and I'm putting away savings to use as a down payment on a house in the future. I already don't go on any big vacations or expensive outings, as I know she can't afford her half. She is angry with me and says I'm financially abusing her. I think I'm justified in keeping my money for me. I buy her nice things here and there and occasionally will pay for dinner. It's more than a lot of husbands do. Am I the astronaut for making my wife pay for her fair share of things? Okay, so a couple of notes on this. I know a lot of people have different viewpoints, and people in our chat are going to have different viewpoints about managing money as a married couple. A lot of couples, even married, keep separate finances. There's nothing wrong with that. However, as a married couple, I do feel like you need to have a team approach to everything here. This does not sound like a team approach to everything. This sounds like two separate people operating as individuals just in the same household. This feels like a roommate kind of thing here. Also, if he is set on this 50-50 thing and he's saving money right now to put a down payment on a house, the house that's chosen, I'm sure he's going to want to be fancier because of the money that he makes. Well, that's going to put her in a position where she has to cough up more percentage-wise of her income. Also, if she ends up maxing her credit cards, if she goes in default, if something happens, I think he might be on the hook for that as well. Push comes to shove, I don't feel like the credit card companies are just going to come after her. I feel like as a married couple, they're both going to be on the hook for that. So, personally, I feel like this needs to be a better team approach here, and he's looking at this as a roommate kind of structure, which I don't agree with. Personally, I wouldn't do this in a relationship, especially in a marriage. Now, Candy Thunder and I have a different approach to everything. We don't keep separate finances. We don't do that kind of thing. Everything is together. Of course, we own a business together. We do this adventure together. We do everything together anyway. So it would be very counterintuitive to try to keep separate finances there. That doesn't make sense to me. Now, his approach here, when she's spoken up about it and said, hey, I'm struggling leveraging debt to try to keep up with normal monthly expenses, which is obviously not a great way to go, and that's not sustainable. She's asking him to pitch in more. When they had an agreement in the first place, they chose their place together, they agreed to do this 50-50. That's the one area where this gets a little bit complicated. And generally, yes, I think he is the asshole. However, if she agreed to this 50-50 thing up front, then that makes it a little bit different. Now he got a raise, so he's making well over double. So he's got additional income flowing in now, and she's like, hey, I'm struggling. How about we divert some of that to this instead of him just putting more money away? And as a couple, that's a no-brainer. It is a no-brainer. He's got the additional income. It's not going to hurt him in order to do this, if for no other reason than to help his spouse. And I think that's where he's the asshole. He's viewing this as she got herself into this mess, she can get herself out. Okay, how? How do you suggest she do that, dude? You're her husband. You guys are a couple. If she gets herself into enough trouble, you're going to be on the hook for that. Do the smart play here. This is where keeping separate finances as a married couple gets tricky. And I don't. He is the asshole, in my opinion here. Other people are going to have different opinions on that because you have different worldviews, and that's 100% okay. Never look at disagreeing with me as a bad thing. We have different opinions. That's what makes us human. In my opinion here, where would he land on the ASCON scales? Definitely at least a 4. He could have done it differently. Definitely at least a 3. Should have done it differently. I don't know about 2. Definitely shouldn't have done that. The question here is, am I the astronaut for making my wife pay half of everything? And I don't think that is the accurate question here. He closes by asking, am I the astronaut for making my wife pay her fair share of things? They agreed in the beginning to this, I assume. And if she agreed to something, then that's a different kind of scenario. That's not the real question, though. The question now is, I'm making even more money than she is now. I've been making more money for a while. I'm making even more than her now, and she's struggling. Should I pay a larger percentage? Yes. Yes, you absolutely should. You absolutely should. And the fact that you're here drawing a line in the sand, say, I don't want to, makes you an asshole, dude. In my mind, you're at least a 3. I'm going to put you on a 3 here. The fact that I assume she agreed to this arrangement in the very beginning is what prevents you from going any higher in my book. At least a 3, though. You need to reevaluate how you view this relationship. You're 2 individuals who just happen to live in the same place right now. Doesn't feel like a marriage to me. Not that sharing finances, lumping everything together, is the solution here. That's not the solution here, because there are plenty of couples who share their finances in one pot and have plenty of money problems, right? Because one person will spend without consulting the other. There are plenty of other problems that can pop up with that as well. I understand that there are reasons that some couples keep them separate, but this is one of the downsides of it.